Hello my creepies, welcome back to my channel. It's Emily the Creep from Creepsville here with another video. Today I'm going to share some of my paranormal-ish kind of experiences that I've had in the house that I'm in right now. The first one I can say is I see a lot of what would be called shadow people. A lot of times I'll pass by a room and I'll think I see somebody in the room, but when I go back and look, there's nobody there. Or I will see something dart across that's dark and shadowy out of the corner of my eye, but nothing's there. Like maybe the height of like a pet or something, but it's not any of the pets that are in the house. The next story that I have is that when my daughter was a few years younger, maybe 3 or 4, she randomly told me that she was scared of the man. And I said, "What man?" And she said, "The man in the hall." Now, there was no man in the hall. I never have seen a man in the hall. And I have not heard her mention the man in the hall since that time. So I don't know if it was just her imagination or if she really was at the time seeing somebody in the hall or a shadow or something that freaked her out. My daughter is a bit of a creep, just like her mommy. And so she does and says things that are a little weird and creepy at times. And I probably should do another video on all the weird, creepy things my daughter has done or said over the few years she has been alive. My next story is a couple of years ago. One of my besties, Ashley, hi Ashley, was at my house and she was coloring my hair. And we were both in the bathroom. I was sitting down, she was coloring my hair. Nobody else was in the house. Nobody was in the house. There was no TVs on. There were no radios on. There was nothing on that would make a sound or a noise or voices or anything like that. And I heard what sounded like a man's voice talking softly, mumbling in another room. Almost as if, like if a TV was on in another room, but it wasn't loud enough for you to hear what it was saying, but you could hear voices or something. It was just a soft, mumbling man's voice, just for, it's a couple of words, could not determine what it said, and that was it. So at first I didn't say anything, but then Ashley and I were both kind of like, "Did you hear that?" And when we both were able to confirm that we each heard the same thing, Ashley slowly closed the bathroom door and continued coloring my hair. Because what else are you really going to do? Nobody was in the house. There was nothing on. There was no reason for us to both heard this same weird voice. And my last story happened about a week or so ago. That's the most recent thing. And it didn't happen to me. It happened to my husband. Now, this is at nighttime. The kids are asleep. Michael was laying down in bed with our youngest next to him. And I was looking through the house because Michael had gone out to my car to get something, and he came back inside and he couldn't remember what he did with my keys. Couldn't find my keys. So I was out there looking for my keys. And before I came back into the room, he thought he heard me in the hallway saying, "Bike, bike, bikey, bike, bike, bike." And his nickname is Bike. That's what my oldest daughter calls him, is Bike or Bikey. Instead of Michael, it's Bike. But he thought he heard me saying that in like a soft whisper, excited voice, as if I was trying to say, "Hey, I found them." And a few moments later, I came into the room and he's like, "So did you find them?" Because he thought he heard me calling him or saying his name that way in an excited manner, as if I found them. And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, but then weren't you calling me?" And I'm like, "No." And he could hear it very clearly in a soft tone, but it sounded like me just outside of our door. And our door to the bedroom was open to the hallway. So I'm not sure what it was he heard, because I was in another part of the house looking for the keys was nowhere near him at the time that it said it. I did not say anything, even in the other room, to anyone else that was in the house that would have sounded like what he heard. And other than that, that's all I've experienced in this house. I guess it's not too freaky. But yeah, those are my paranormal experiences or stories for now. If I experience anything else in the future, I'll be sure and let you know. And until then, stay creepy.